Okay, the Ultimate Fan Chat is back, this time with a two-man team. Today, we're going to be talking about something sad, and that is a cancellation of a fight. That cancellation being the current featherweight champion, UFC featherweight champion, Max Holloway. Ah, it's sad. It's sad. Anyway, Pete. Well, actually, no,
Hello,
I should say my name's Chris, and
Peter.
there we go. So yeah, I guess today that's what we're going to be talking about. We're talking about the pullout, as you called it earlier on, of Max Holloway, and
Yes, the
the
full out
reasoning
of Max
behind it.
Holloway.
It's a concussion, which is it's kind of sad actually.
It's not a great sign for such a young champion. 26 years old and already this kind of not really injury, so to speak, but this kind of something that's affected him so much that his team. He wasn't him himself actually. His team pulled him out of the fight, so it's quite concerning. But again, probably the best case scenario. You wouldn't want him going into that fight and losing his title, especially against someone so dangerous as Brian Ortega.
No,
Um, like
100%.
yeah, like we were discussing earlier today. Uh, at the end of the day, people are only going to look at the result of the fight. It's not going to matter if he came into the fight with concussion or not. The history books will just say the result of the fight and the winner. So I think a good decision by his team to pull him out.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Just at his age, I think how he's 26, yeah.
26,
Yeah, so he's
26.
26 and he's being pulled out of a fight with a concussion on like a couple of days before the fight. It's not a good sign. And previous to that, he pulled out of the fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov, and that was a last minute fight, but that was at a weight division above, and he was struggling to make
Mm.
the weight. And then before that, he pulled out of a fight against Frankie Edgar due to I think a knee injury.
I think it was. Yeah,
So that's so from what was it? From March 3rd of this year
three
till
fights.
today, he's pulled out of three fights. It's just he's had a really bad run as of late. That's nothing. That's not a slight against him. It's just a sad sight that 2018 has
Yeah,
been such a bad year for Max Holloway.
I don't think anyone's sort of questioning Max Holloway in terms of pulling out of the fights, but an interesting point to make and something I've seen covered online today. The effect that the possible weight cutting might have had on him as well, not just a possible concussion, but maybe it was a sort of consequence of the weight cut. I know he does cut a lot of weight to get to 145, so that could also be another option, possibility for what's occurred. I mean, very well could have a concussion, but I guess the heavy weight cut probably would have contributed to any sort of ill feeling he had.
Well, yeah, if he had a concussion and he's cutting weight at the same time, it's the weight cut is definitely gonna it's well the effects of the concussion are gonna show up more while you're trying to dehydrate your body and just cut all these
Mm.
nutrients out of your diet. It's just yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And it really sucks. But one of the things that I was saying to you earlier on today, the absolute murderer's row of people that he has gone through to get that title,
Mm-hmm.
it's no wonder that his body's starting to shut down.
Yeah, he's had some tough fights. Aldo twice, McGregor, Pettis, Jeremy. Did he fight Jeremy Stevens?
Yep,
I feel he fought Jeremy
yep.
Stevens as
To a
well.
decision, so he went a full 3 rounds with that demon.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, it's also the training he's doing. I can't imagine Max Holloway is a light sparrer. All those Hawaiian guys, I'd say they have very heavy, full contact sparring, and that's just it seems to have just added up. I'm hoping this is just like a one off thing, and not something that's going to happen frequently to him in terms of concussion. Who's to know if this has happened in previous training camps or not, and he's just been able to deal with it better. So yeah, I guess only time can tell. But one point I'd like to make, it's very, very good that this card still has its main event in Stipe and Daniel Cormier, because you can bet your house if that was the main event, Holloway and Ortega would be getting an interim title fight.
Yeah, this is true. This is
I
well
don't
the,
know.
ma-
I don't know
the
who Ortega would fight, but you can bet your house on it. It would be an interim title fight.
but it's the bright side of this cancellation is that it is on such a stellar card. If you look at the
Yeah.
main event being obviously, as you just said, Stipe and Cormier, and then after that, now you're going to have Ngannou and Lewis, which is just going to be ridiculous. Two absolute beasts going against one another, and then you got Chiesa versus Pettis, which in my opinion is going to be a fantastic fight. I'm pumped for that fight. And then you got Saki and Roundtree going against each other, so that's you can't complain. The main event, if anything, like a 4-fight main event's great because it's just easier to digest being 4 fights. If you
Yeah,
got like 5 to 6 fights on there, it's like Jesus Christ.
it's still a good card, a great card. It'll be interesting to see what's bumped up to the main card now, if anything. But I assume
Yeah,
they'll have to bump something up.
it would be Perry and Felder. That would be the one you pump up. You'd assume because
Yeah,
that's a great fight.
is that the main event of the prelims?
I believe so. No, no, it's not actually. Where
Costa
is
and
that
Uriah
fight?
Hall, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Uriah Hall.
Yeah, I think Costa and Uriah Hall will probably go because actually I don't know.
Actually, well,
Either of those fights I wouldn't mind
Felder and
really.
Perry moving that up to the main event of the prelims. It's a great main
I feel
event for the
like that's
prelims.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fight that can get people interested in to order the pay per view.
Yeah, but it's 4 on the prelim. Well, you got 3 on the Fight Pass prelims, 4 fights
Yep.
on the Fox prelims, and then you got 4 on the main event. So it's nice and evenly set out.
Yeah,
I mean, why mess with that? Leave the main card as 4 fights.
yeah, you could do that. The only thing with that is, I guess, if you look at the fights, Roundtree and Saki's probably not going to go very long. Chiesa and Pettis, I think that's going to the decision. So you got 3 rounds there. Derek Lewis and Ngannou's probably not going the full 3 rounds either. I think they'll bump one fight up there just to take, to prolong the card a little bit. I think that card's going to be a quick one as is, but they will probably chuck another one in there just to extend it a little bit, the pay-per-view time.
Yeah,
Because realistically, that fight could, 2 of the 4 fights are probably going to end in the first round, and you don't want your pay-per-view done within an hour and a half. I mean, for us, we would love that,
Well,
but
for all you know, they might not even take one of these bigger fights out of the prelims. They might chuck the Curtis Miller and Max Griffin fight up there.
yeah, that's another good
And
point.
just have that as like the kind of because they normally have like a sleeper match in the main card so that you can after sit. I assume it's for the crowd after they've been sitting there so long. There's just that one fight that not many people are going to know the fight is in there,
Yeah,
so they can go have a toilet break or something like that. So they might chuck the Millender and Max Griffin one between after the Gokhan Saki and before the
Ngannou and
before the
Lewis.
Chiesa and
Yes,
fight.
yeah.
I know that's an option. Or as it is right now, they might just leave it.
They haven't rescheduled Holloway or Ortega, have they?
Apparently, if he recovers all right, he'll be on the 227 card in 4 weeks, which I know your opinion on that. It's not favorable.
That's a bit soon. No. Oh yeah, I
Nah.
wouldn't like that. You would if your concussion's that bad that I mean even Michael Bisping called him out on UFC on Fox broadcast, saying he looked very sleepy. And I watched his interview after the open workouts, and he didn't seem overly coherent. Would be a nice way of putting it. I wouldn't if you're that bad that they need to pull you out of a fight. I don't like 4 weeks.
In saying that,
Especially, he would need to train in those 4 weeks, and he probably shouldn't even be having contact for 4 weeks. So
yeah. Well, putting health aside,
mm-hmm.
if he did end up on that card and he became the main event for that card would then be Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega at the top. Then you'd have TJ Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt just underneath it. Then you'd have Demetrius Johnson and Henry Cejudo just under that. And then you'd have Gustafsson and Volkon under that.
Yes.
And then Derek Brunson's out of that right now.
Pulled out.
But you'd still have
3 title fights. That's a lot for a.
It keeps on going. You've still got Cub Swanson and Renato Moicano. And then, after that, then it kind of dies down a little bit.
I don't know. I see with the two title fights on that one. I don't think they need to rush Holloway back.
Nah. Holloway can have a break. Let him have a break. It feels like he's been prepping for a fight all year. So let him.
Yeah.
Let him take like 2-3 months off, relax, take the next month off to recover, and then get back into training camp. 2 months prior, 2 months after that.
Especially if they see Holloway as a star, a current star and a star of the future, you don't want to be rushing. They probably see Ortega as a bigger star, a bigger cash cow, but you don't want to be rushing Holloway in just yet, unless of course they want Ortega to be the champion. And I guess he's more marketable in a sense with his good guy role, but I wouldn't like them to see Holloway rush back in.
speaking of Max, Max Holloway, right? Cause he's such an old school fighter. Reminds me of Chuck Liddell when Chuck Liddell was first like coming up and waiting for that title shot. Because remember, you had Tito Ortiz and Frank Shamrock had their no, not
Uh-huh.
Frank. Ken Shamrock had their rivalry. So Chuck
Yep.
Liddell just kept on fighting dudes in the interim. He wasn't worried about the fact that oh no, I might lose my contendership. He just kept
Yeah.
on fighting, and he fought Babalu, and at that time,
Yep.
Babalu was a straight killer. He was destroying dudes, and he went in there and he just beat the shit out of him. And with Max Holloway's career, you see the exact same thing. Before he got the title shot, he was on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Was it 10?
9, 10, 10 yeah, 10 win streak, 10 fight win
Yeah.
streak. Well, the 10th fight being an interim title fight, but that's
Yeah.
not a title fight.
Yeah. We
So
won't count that.
he was on a 10 fight win streak, and in that time, he was waiting for Aldo and McGregor to get their thing over and done with. And then after
Yep.
Aldo and McGregor had their thing over and done with, then Aldo had to
Frankie
fight.
Edgar.
Well, no, I meant Aldo and yeah, I said Aldo and McGregor, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then you had, as you just said, Aldo and Edgar. So he kept on having to wait and then wait and then wait, and then he finally gets it, and he fights Aldo twice and he beats him up. Which once again,
Twice, yeah.
it's very similar to Chuck Liddell. He finally gets that title shot. He fights Couture and then fights him twice after that, beats him up.
Mm.
Similar,
Yeah.
different, but I don't know. Just looking at his career and thinking back to the Chuck Liddell days, it really reminds me of that.
Yeah, a no nonsense approach, like you're saying. You just fought whoever they put in front of him. It's like that with anyone, really. I guess even if you're not that marketable, if you're beating everyone they put in front of you and you're increasingly fighting better and better opposition, there's only so much time that can pass before they have to give you that title shot. I mean, even in this day and age where markability and the sort of the Conor McGregor clones are everywhere, like your Colby Covington, if you're constantly beating guys and better guys and you're working up the rankings, there's only so long until you can get that title shot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. After he lost to Randy, he fought a couple of. I'm just looking at Liddell's record and just seeing how.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just it felt as though he took that long to get to the title, Chuck Liddell, that he kind of burnt out. And when he burnt out hard. He started getting knocked out a lot because he just.
Well, there's a joke on the UFC. I think it was the 100 Greatest Fights DVD. Before they discussed the Tito and Chuck their first fight, there was a joke. I can't remember who the presenter was, but he was saying Tito was the champ and beat all the guys that he was fighting. But at the same time, Chuck was like his bodyguard, whereas Chuck was beating the legitimate contenders and Tito was just beating, whoever they put in front of him.
Oh no, that's so true. Yeah, because Chuck beat up Bustamante, beat up Guy Mezger, beat up Kevin Randleman, Jeff Monson, Vitor Belfort, and obviously Babalu. And then he went to Pride, beat up Overeem.
Yeah.
And then he had a weird fight with Vernon White. Remember that, where he kind of hit the punch didn't hit him, and Vernon White just fell over and acted knocked out.
Yeah.
That was weird.
It's a bit strange.
Anyway, another reason I'm bringing up Chuck Liddell
Uh-huh.
is because of the reason, like, he burnt out so quick, and when he burnt out, it's just like loss, and I don't want that to happen to Max. So I really hope that he does take the time that he needs to sit out.
Yeah, and that's something I think I've mentioned in some of the previous videos we've done. He's only 26, and he's having these issues, but I mean, a lot of it doesn't sort of really matter about the age of the guy. It's the miles on a clock. Like, I like to use the Shogun example all the time. He was Grand Prix champ at 23, and by 31, 32, he was. I know he's a contender now, but his best had passed him by the age of 30, 31. So, and then you get a guy like Randy. He didn't start fighting until his early 30s, mid 30s, and he's still fighting to a decent level into his 40s. So. I don't think it's about the age. It's all about the miles on the clock. And I feel like Max Holloway is a guy. Not only he has tough fights and he fights tough guys, but I feel like he'd be one of those guys that leaves a lot of it in the gym as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, comparing him to Shogun is incredibly relevant in that regard because of that shootbox camp. And they all just went to town on one another. Like, you see some of the videos on YouTube of like Shogun fighting his brother, and they just absolutely go ham on one another. That's not training.
Just like you said, they were fighting. Yeah, they were fighting. They weren't sparring. They were fighting. And I mean, there's a point when you need to do that, where it helps you, but not to that extent and not that frequently.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting ready for a fight. You do. who was I think I was listening to Firas Zahabi in an interview with Joe Rogan recently, and he said they will do those types of training sessions maybe once or twice at most in a whole camp. You know, and
Yeah.
that's in for big fights, for title
Well,
fights.
he was even,
That's not
Faraz was
all the
even
time.
talking about like weightlifting. He was saying you shouldn't lift hard. You should be doing small, very like small weight sessions throughout the week instead of just going up like lifting such heavy weights and high reps and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he had a very interesting take on that. Just
Mm.
talking about Shogun, just a quick fact on him. He's on his first 3 fight win streak in a decade.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Since
Considering
he fought
he
him
was a champion,
since
but
he fought in Pride.
it's very misleading. I feel as well. If you look at, I love Shogun, but if you look at the strength of the opposition and the actual performances themselves,
Well, are you trying to
um,
say that Cyril Diabate wasn't a formidable opponent?
no, I mean on this current
And
streak.
Kevin Randleman? Oh, you're talking
No,
about
no, on the current
current,
streak. So
sorry.
so
Gian
you got
Vellante, Corey
John
Anderson,
Vellante,
and Little
Corey
Nog.
Anderson, and Little Nog. Yeah, he beat Little Nog like 2 years ago as well, didn't he?
No, his fight with Little Nog, I think that was back in 2005.
No. The on the latest one on the streak.
Sorry, yeah, latest one was August 1, 2015.
Yeah, well, there you go. He's got a 3 fight win streak, and it's been almost 3 years. So
Yeah.
he's. I think that ends. By the way, did you see his replacement for UFC Hamburg, replacing Ozdemir?
Who was it?
Anthony Smith, the guy that just knocked
Yes, I
out
did see that.
Rashad.
Yeah, Anthony Smith is legit too. He's gonna
Uh,
unless Anthony Smith goes the John Vellante route and just decides to I don't know slug it out with someone that likes to slug.
I don't
I
like that fight for Shogun.
Nah, I don't like a lot of fights for Shogun to be
Okay,
really.
right, for Shogun.
It sounds bad, but it's true, man. I feel
And you know what? Like, I would rather him fight Ozdemir, who'd probably beat him too. But at least it's Volkan Ozdemir. He's fighting the number 1 or 2 ranked guy. You know,
yeah,
at least it's a big fight. It's a high profile fight, and if he does somehow win, he's in line for a shot. But
yeah, but
I mean,
I feel like
beating
Ozdemir
him,
was gonna like lay some heavy hands on him.
me too. But there's always that chance, you know. And I mean, that risking it against Ozdemir is all right because it chucks you right up there in contention for the title. But I mean, he beats Anthony Smith. Is he going to get a title shot? No. So
Yeah, but say he did beat Ozdemir, what's he gonna do? Fight Cormier after that?
why not? Why not? He would again probably get walloped, but why not? Let's
Mm.
go out with a title shot.
Thing
Loses
is,
the title shot, retires.
light heavyweight is so thin right now, so
Yeah.
it actually is kind of plausible to see Shogun as champion if like everything just kind of turns out correctly.
Well, think about it, right? Miocic beats DC this weekend. Probably retires, I think, depending on how the loss. If it's a bad loss, probably retires. He's 40 years old now, or almost 40. Who fights for the title at light heavyweight?
It'd have to be Gus versus someone.
Gus
It,
versus someone. Who?
well, if he does retire immediately after this fight, it'll be against Ozdemir. That'll be a title fight. They'll turn that into a title
Yeah,
fight.
that's on 227, isn't it?
Um,
That fight.
yes, it is.
Well, that's the thing. If he takes a month to think about it and then retires, that fight's already happened. The winner of that would be one of the fighters in the title shot. But who's the other guy? It's not going to be the loser of that. Shogun beats Anthony Smith, maybe.
Yeah, this is true. And then obviously Gus is going to beat the hell out of Paul
Probably.
Shogun again. First time
Probably.
he kind of went easy on him. This time it's going to be bad. But
Shogun still had a little bit left in the tank back then, but yeah.
what DC was saying is that he's going to retire at 40. He's not going to fight past the age of 40. So he's got till March 20 next year to retire. But he said he's definitely not fighting past that unless he gets a second fight with John, or
I
he gets a fight with Brock Lesnar.
see. I don't see him fight. If he loses this fight, I can't see him fighting anyone except for John Jones.
Yeah, this is true.
I can't see him fighting any, and win or lose against John Jones, he retires. I can't see him fighting anyone else. I mean, why? What's
Man,
is he
imagine he
really
does-
going to go on?
Imagine he does get that third fight against John Jones though. Like what if he loses that? That's 3 fights he's lost to the same guy. How many times have you seen that? A trilogy fight, a trilogy of fights where you get the same result every time.
Yeah, but I mean, is he really going to get up to fight, I don't know, Gus again, or is he going to get up to fight Shogun or Ozdemir or
No,
whoever? I
no.
can't see him getting up for that at the age of,
I
just
can
under 40.
I can see him getting up to fight Shogun because it's pretty much a win. He's fighting a legend. At least he can say he did that.
But
But
see, I think
fighting,
that's so easy for him. That's not a challenge for him to be like, with all respect to Shogun, that's not a challenge for Daniel Cormier.
you never know if he takes him down. Shogun might go for that knee bar that he went for Kevin Randleman.
Yeah, good luck
Apparently,
with that.
apparently those wrestlers they're open to those knee bars.
If
Remember Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir?
if Shogun ever knee bars someone again, I will eat this pen on this show. If he ever knee bars anyone again, I'll eat this pen. That's how confident I am.
This is now going to be on the interwebs now, so everyone's gonna
if ever knee bars anyone again.
anyone who has watched this. Oh, my voice is went. Anyone who is watching this, you heard it straight from Peter himself.
This pen will be eaten, devoured. If Shogun ever knee bars anyone again.
Can you put a special label on that pen so if he does knee bar someone, we know you bring out that exact same pen?
I will.
All right. Well, okay. So we've gone off the Max Holloway thing a little bit, and we've gone on a bit of a tangent. But I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about Max, or maybe Brian Ortega? It's obviously not. There's no point Brian Ortega taking another fight with, say, even Edgar wanted to take the fight on last.
I wouldn't want to see Frankie Edgar take it on short notice.
Or say a Jeremy Stevens because he's got a fight coming up in a week or two. So maybe they pulled him out and put him up against Brian Ortega.
But then, see, you've got the issue. What if he beats?
Well, yeah, that's.
I would leave it. I would leave it. It all depends what the doctors sort of say with Max Holloway. How long he needs to have no contact and everything like that. I mean, if Max Holloway's not allowed to train for 3 months, I'd put Ortega in another fight. But if he can fight in 3 months, I'd just postpone it.
Fair enough. Yeah, why not go with that? But it would be cool to see Stevens come up and fight Ortega. I reckon that'd be fun.
It would.
I'd love to see that. See if the submission skills of Ortega can overcome the absolute power of Stevens. That'd be a fun fight. I'd love to see that fight. Although I'm getting the fight that I originally wanted in Stevens and Aldo, so I guess don't change that.
I'm looking forward to Stevens and Aldo. I really hope Aldo's still got something left and can get it done.
I really hope Stevens just ends it hard and fast.
Aldo struggles with the guys longer than him, and I don't think Stevens is that much bigger than him. So,
let me have a look at that because Stevens is pretty big.
He did just fight at lightweight.
Yeah, he did fight at lightweight, Stevens. Okay, let's have a look. Aldo is 5'7". Yeah, Stevens, where is it? He is 5'8".
What's the reach?
And a half. And the reach, 71 inches on Jeremy and 70 on Aldo.
Yeah, so it's not as pronounced as when Aldo fought McGregor and when he fought Holloway. So we'll see.
Oof, we will see. It will be fun. It will be fun.
Good fight. I'll be devastated if Aldo gets knocked out.
Can you believe Aldo's record over his past 4 fights is 3-1?
3-1?
Yeah. As in he's lost 3, won 1. Oh, so I guess you call that 1 and 3. Sorry, yeah.
I was
My
like,
apologies.
who did he beat?
My apologies. 1 and 3. I messed that up. Lost to Conor, won against Frankie, and lost to Max twice. And he's still the number 2 contender. I guess that's based on tenure, because he does have a crazy win streak previous to all that. But still, losing 3 of your last 4.
Well, look, if he beats Stevens, I think he deserves it. So we'll see.
Yep.
I think if Stevens wins this, even though Aldo's on a slump, I give Stevens the title shot, definitely, if he wins it against Aldo, the next title shot.
Ooh, that card's going to be good too. You got Alvarez and Poirier, and then you got John Jacek and Torres. Oh, look at that.
Alvarez and Poirier is going to be a good fight.
Jordan Mean is back. I love Jordan Mean. And he's against Alex Moreno, however you say his last name.
Moreno, I think?
Moreno, that's it. That's going to be a fun fight. I love that. I love both those guys. That's going to be great. And there's a couple of cool fights underneath that. Oh, Ross Pearson's on that. Versus John McDessie. That'll be good.
Oh, that'll be a good fight.
That'll be really good. Yeah, Ross Pearson's got such good boxing. But
Ross
unfortunately,
Pearson's never in a boring fight.
nah. Remember when he fought Dan Hooker? Though he was beating the hell out of Dan Hooker, and then he kept on ducking. He
Yeah.
used the same duck over and over again, and then he just ducked right into that knee. It's just like,
Hooker Reddyman, yeah.
yeah, that was great. That was
Yeah,
fantastic.
there's a lot of good fights coming up.
Yeah, some really good fights. All right, well, that's we're on 25 minutes now, so I say we call
Let's
this
wrap it
we
up.
call this a chat. Oh no, you know what this means? Dan's not here, so I got to say his closing line.
Go on.
Well, we've been sexy, and you've been watching. Thank you very much.